didn't have my spells in there, that's why. What happened?
I gotta turn that music down.
Should we just go to active session now? Or do you want to just wait move in 10 minutes?
In about 5 minutes. 5 minutes is fine. Alright. Bring up my little script.
Once upon a time in a land far away, there was a vampire.
And it
Yeah.
wasn't you. I do genuinely hope you all like what I got going. I put a lot of effort into this.
We know you've been
Sure, we will.
going non-stop.
Yes, for a reason.
Yes.
Shut up. Meh. I don't know what Discord is trying to tell me with the little message, but it doesn't matter. Alright, we'll start in about 3 minutes.
Okay.
I'm gonna be like, where you at, Rafa?
He has time.
He has 3 minutes.
I mean, while we do this, I'm just gonna work on my scaly.
What?
Me as a player, I'm gonna love this. Kieran, my poor boy, he not going to be a happy boy.
He says he's coming now. Bitch, you better.
Look, and then he just walks in and we're all like washed away by the splooge.
What?
Yes.
What are you talking about?
It's because you said he's coming now.
Alright, well, while he takes this sweet ass time, I'm gonna go pee.
Oh my
My
goodness.
God.
Just went pee, Hobby.
Like, hobby, just have a hose hooked up, man.
Gamer trough.
Yeah. Or like, just use some Mountain Dew bottles. Oh my god, am I not going to find sexy raptors unless, like, I, like, just search up sexy raptors?
Well, of course.
I'm so sad. Oh my god.
So sad.
I'm gonna have to search it up somehow. Ah!
Okay.
Okay.
Did you wash your hands?
No, but I didn't touch anything either.
Oh my god, Javi! Wait, what?
He's joking, I hope.
Oh dear lord.
So anyway, D&D.
Floridians, am I right?
Alright, let's jump up to active session.
Alright,
Oh,
I did
okay.
make some final tweaks to my character sheet because I didn't realize I hadn't. All I did was fix my stats, and I'm not going to touch them again, and add my spells, which I think I added all of them.
Alright,
You
everyone
were
follow.
asking me about them earlier, and I was like, why is he asking me about them? Because I've already got them on there.
Follow me to active session.
I'm a trendsetter.
You're a trendsetter?
Yeah, because I went first.
Yes, good job.
Hipster much.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I like the ass on that raptor.
Okay.
Sorry, I will now not do jokes. Don't worry.
All right. So first of all, thank you all for coming. Let me get my little aficionado talk out the way, and then I'll hand the mic over to you guys. Sound good?
I think
All right. Very cool. So, I want to welcome all of you to Curse of Strahd.
Hello.
Okay. So Curse of Strahd is obviously a dark horror D&D campaign produced and published by Wizards of the Coast and brought to you by me. And our players include Katya, the manic scientist, Dr. Vincent Devland, Blue Jeans, who will be playing the charismatic magical marksman, Charlotte, or Lottie for short, SL Kitty, who will be joining us shortly as the bright-spirited Kenku Shadow Monk, Raphael, playing the Skaven Gentleman Wizard of the Enchanting Arts, Reginald Vandenberg, and last but certainly not least, Loxidation, playing the Corlon Cleric and Interstellar Visitor, Kieran Meyer. It's my sincerest privilege to be able to present to you all my most recent passion project of the last 2 to 3 months. I hope you all come to love this spooky tale of monsters, mortality, romantic tragedy, and nefarious abominations. Special thanks also goes to social media users Manimod, Dragnacarta, and the Lunch Break Heroes team for helping me flesh out the land of Barovia, providing helpful tips on how to run this illustrious module, and providing fun homebrew twists to make the game a tad bit creepier. With all that out the way, let's get to Curse of Strahd, Definitive Edition. Okay. The oldest and strongest emotion of mankind is fear. And the oldest, strongest kind of fear is fear of the unknown. So, last time our party was just introducing themselves to each other. We have Kieran, Vincent, and Charlotte all getting together, drinking, and currently searching for a particularly elusive monk who is bedazzled by literal bedazzlement. All around you, merriment swells the environment, the night sky illuminated by bright lights of this great city. People are drinking and laughing, for tonight is a special night in the city of Daggerford. A banquet of high renown, known as the Banquet of Battlemen, has commenced. There are candlelight, live music performance, decadent food, and even more decadent people. The Duchess is greeting guests as they walk in. She speaks to each member as they walk in. Lovely night. Thank you for coming. There are a few nobles in the party enjoying wine and company, but most notably, there are many, many adventurers, just like yourselves. Among them, Duchess Morwyn's son, named Murdoch Morwyn, likes to recruit would-be heroes and seekers of danger to take on challenges for lofty rewards. Those who pledge themselves to the House of Morwyn become venerated throughout the land by good citizens of Daggerford and beyond. You all enjoy delicious meals and happy company, Duchess Morwen begins to ring her glass with a fork. I'd like to propose a toast to my son for besting a giant in single combat with nary a scratch, making the long trek home from a distant land. To my son and your future Duke, Murdoch Morwen. The crowd around you claps along as Morwen thanks them all. Thank you all. It was no big deal. Murdoch says this as he's pulling out a giant stuffed head. How humble of you, my boy, she says, laughing at him. She beckons her son to make a speech up next to him. An orc bard agrees with the Duchess. An Arakaka barbarian shouts, "Get up there, hero!" The crowd chants, "Speech! Speech! Speech!" And Murdoch stands with his mother. He says, "As much as I'd love to take 100% of the credit, I cannot. For if it wasn't for our esteemed guest of honor, the leader of the Vistani nomads, Stanimir, and his people, I simply would not be here." Stanimir, this man over here. He raises his hand and nods. He says that, sorry, excuse me. Murdoch continues saying, "I thank you every day I draw breath, and your people. And this goes out to the rest of you as well. You never know if some battle-enraged behemoth will slam its hammer onto you, or a bomb from nowhere explodes behind you. Remember to give thanks and respect to the people who pledge their lives to the aid of others." Clerics and doctors shout, "Amen!" Murdoch then finalizes his speech. "Here's to adventure, to life, to the memory of the Morwen family motto. A short life, but a glorious one." Everyone stomps their feet and shouts, "Hip hip, hooray!" As everyone continues on, drinking and eating. Alright, now back to you guys. What are you doing at this amazing party?
Vincent will do a few hip hip hoorays and then lean over to whoever's closest to him and be like, "What do you think they did with the rest of the giant? I'm sure there's still some usable parts."
Hey, who are you? Were you saying? Who are you saying that to?
I think you're the closest one
Okay.
to me.
She was kind of like picking at her nails, and then she just kind of looks, turns to you, and just makes a face.
What? It's a real question.
I'm sure they would be thrilled to have you ask that, but perhaps we should discuss other things?
What could be more important than usable materials?
I mean, isn't it standard practice to burn the bodies? You know, in case, I don't know. That's just what we always did.
Unfortunate, but I suppose it is a necessary thing to do.
Particularly considering some of these, the corpses of certain creatures tend to stink.
Perhaps.
Out of character.
Yes.
We had said that we were supposed to meet sort of our reinforcements here. Well, not reinforcements, but like the other retainers to replace the ones that had died and in this city. But I don't know if they were supposed to meet them here. Would it be reasonable to expect them to be here already or not?
You could always take a look around and see if they are here already or not.
Okay, that's what Lottie was gonna go do. She was gonna look around and see if she recognized anybody or if anyone had declared that they had arrived and were with the Artois family, anything like that.
Okay.
So she says, I'm going to go see if our new companions have arrived.
Would you like me to go with?
It's up to you. It is a banquet. You can go do banquety things, whatever.
Very well, I suppose I shall try to mingle. Yes, yes.
On second thought, maybe you should stick with me.
Oh, very well, very well. Lead the way.
If Vincent wants to mingle, I could join him.
Do you want to search around the crowds?
I mean, maybe we can meet good people here. If that's yeah.
Right. Lottie, I'll see you soon. We're going to go mingle. Come on, Kieran.
Don't go too far now.
I'm sure you'll be able to see us with those wonderful eyes of yours.
Are you flirting with my Lottie?
What? No,
Oh.
no, I just...
My, how romance blossoms so quickly.
I just thought she had pretty eyes. I'm sorry. Oh, God, I'm so sorry.
Well, I'm very flattered. But on a serious note, I had to better be able to see you with my pretty eyes from anywhere around here. Okay, Vincent? I don't want to
I'm
have to go
sure
looking
I'll
for you.
behave. Don't
Oh.
worry, don't worry.
All right. And Lottie's gonna kind of just set off and look around. Maybe look for, I don't know what it would be, a welcoming person or a guard or somebody who would maybe know who all was here already.
You could give me a perception check.
All right. Perception. What's my perception?
Okay, there we go.
Oh man, why do I have such low perception? Christ. 13.
Alright, so you, Lottie, are right here. You can see a very jovial green-colored halfling sitting next to this red-haired woman. And behind the halfling is a very ugly and intimidating clay golem.
Interesting.
The little man seems to be talking relentlessly to the red-haired woman.
Talking like at her?
Yeah, like, so I was just really ready to jump towards it, and then he decided to just give it back to me, but I don't know why. Anyway, so you are who are you? What your name was again? He just talks like that really quickly. And she is just trying her hardest to get drunk and stop hearing him.
My pizza's here. I'm sorry. Come back to me in a second.
Alright, well that's what Lottie sees. That's what she's doing. Vincent, would you like to give me a perception check as well?
Sure. Robotic eye enhanced, 22.
Nice. Alright, so right next to you, right here, you see a guard standing next to you quietly.
Hello.
He says, "Wonderful party," and then stares blankly ahead of him. You see
he's an NPC.
You see a very big stone man standing at attention in the center of the room. You see,
Okay.
and you see a dragonborn just also standing, admiring everyone else.
Okay, I will point those two people out to Kieran and say, where should we mingle first?
Um, uh, maybe just the solo person first. Maybe that would be the better idea. The dragonborn person, maybe.
Dragonborn it is. Let's go.
Oh boy.
He'll do a very, like, exaggerated bow, thinking it's fancy. He goes, good day to you, my friend. What brings you to this feast and festivity?
The dragonborn looks in your direction, but not at you. Oh, very pleasant to meet you, Mr.
Please call me Vincent.
Vincent. Peculiar name.
Perhaps. And you are?
Ah, my name is Arutek, and my people know me as the Sightless. A very crude joke, given my condition.
Oh, that's rather unfortunate.
You can see how his eyes, normally Dragonborn eyes are slanted like a reptile, but his are very, very wide, open, almost black entirely.
Is there no remedy for this sort of condition you have?
My monastery seldom provides uh, med. He's trying to think of the word for uh, non-magical healing.
Medical care?
Precisely. Thank you. My very very blue feeling friend.
How do you know they're blue?
I mean, it's
I take out my gun. I don't have
Oh.
a gun. I don't have a gun.
It's not as though I hide that I'm slightly blue. I mean, my hair is blue.
Did you not mention that you were blue before?
I mean, yeah, Kieran's just responding to this statement of Vincent's as, and I mean, my hands are blue, Vincent.
Well,
Oh.
you're...
Oh, okay. I might have confused.
Yes.
I might have confused your voice with someone else's. I can hear many conversations within this place at once. It's
Oh.
hard to keep track. I apologize.
It is okay. I am sorry to hear that you cannot seek, that you cannot find good medical aid. I'm not sure I'm trained enough to offer, but I believe this good Dr. Vincent might actually have an idea if you're looking into a possible strange method for it.
What kind of method do you have in mind, Doctor?
Well, it's definitely more new age and not much research behind it. But I have been performing some experiments and squeaks.
Hello, everyone.
Yay, you're here!
Hello.
I just did a whole introduction and we're talking to NPCs right now.
Cool.
Um, you might not be able to see it, but even myself, I have a robotic eye. There are always ways to make up for a body's shortcomings.
I have a question for you, Doctor.
Yes.
You spoke of a word I do not know the meaning of. What does the word robotic mean?
So, you know how you have, uh, take yourself for example, made of flesh, blood, and bone,
Indeed.
and then think of something like the fork on the table. It's made of metal, yes?
He approaches the table, picks up a fork, and says, hmm. It's like he's contemplating the material of the metal.
Things that are mechanic or robotic are typically made of metal.
And what do they do?
They replace the function for anything and everything.
Sounds blasphemous.
What?
Why? There is a purpose to everything in the cosmos as they are. Why would you wish to implement a new object or function for one that already exists for it?
When that purpose and function diminish, and it can be replaced, why not? Advance the pursuit of scientific research. It will never happen if we just stop when things break.
I'm detecting a shift in your tone. Have I offended you in some way? I apologize if I have.
He looks down at his robotic eye, arm, and probably leg.
He looks at his
Oh!
eye.
Yes. I take out my robotic eye to look at my other human eye.
Damn.
um, I, I guess I just haven't come across someone who has not seen the benefit for what I'm trying to do.
I teach a very accepting way of thinking, how all things in creation are meant to fulfill a function, yes, but once that function is done, there's no need to mourn or replace it. It is simply time to move on to the ether.
If you teach about creation, what about the things that I create? Did they not have the same value as the things you would say?
What have you created? Please tell me.
I will hold out my arm for him to touch, and I say, "Here, reach in front of you, and you can maybe try to understand where I'm coming from."
He stiffly extends his hand like this.
This is my arm.
He flinches in his shoulder a bit.
Disgusting!
You are as cold as the fork.
Thank you! High quality material.
He isn't letting go of your hand. It's like he's trying to pick it apart in his mind. Silver, iron, steel.
I'll kind of like trill my finger so he can feel like the mechanisms inside moving.
He flinches again.
Oh,
Uh,
fascinating, isn't it?
he then
Years of work and research.
he then retracts his hand. And okay, he's kind of a bit scared.
He
but
should be. He should be.
but he's like he doesn't want to like be rude, so he asks you what was the purpose in replacing your arm, doctor?
Oftentimes, I'm sure as you are keenly aware, our body isn't able to keep up with our needs and wants and desires. Those that can't keep up should be replaced.
I have never met need to replace my body. I need only the air and earth to guide and solidify my spirit.
Hmm. You are such a strange creature.
That is saying a lot. Uh, um, he politely nods, but is not sure if he should feel offended.
Maybe just a little. Uh, Kieran, we were mingling together. Was there anything you would like to say?
Um, I think you have a very interesting perspective on life.
Indeed. Please, I know I've spoken to the good doctor for quite some time. He shuffles around you, Vincent. I
Uh,
I care very much to hear all forms of philosophy and perspective. Tell me yours, please.
um, I guess in a short form, life is an art, and what Vincent was showing you was his art, I
Hmm.
believe. If his normal couldn't keep up with his work, he made a completely new piece of art, a, a, a new life to work and intertwine with his, and I thought that was very good. I believe even Coralon would go for that.
Corlon.
Yes,
Is that a deity you venerate?
it it, it is the deity I strongly worship, and I try to spread his word all over wherever I travel.
And he is an artistic being, yes?
Yes, he supports many things, arts and magic, and of course, the best art of them all, life.
He has a he you can feel how much warmer he is at hearing you say that. Indeed.
It's weird, he never smiled when I talked to him.
Oh my goodness.
Maybe for a reason. uh okay. Um so yeah, he very much liked what you just said, Kieran, and he has a sort of symbolic glow to him now, like he feels like his perspective was confirmed in a way. You have quite the view on life, my good cleric friend.
Thank you. Tries to do a weird bow curtsy again. It does not work.
Uh, he he does the same thing with his sleeves binding together and mimics your motion, but with less tensity.
Yay! Well, I am glad.
hmm Uh, he says how he wishes to mingle with others now, and he politely says goodbye to both of you, but not before addressing you, Vincent, and has a saying to you.
Oh, yes.
So, I understand the desire to create, and as your friend here pointed out, your work is an art.
Ah, thank you. Yes, yes.
But your art isn't just art. I understand that. It is meant to have a purpose. And I wish to tell you something I heard long ago from someone who came to my monastery, whom I never forgot the words for.
Yes, please tell.
Uh, he told me this. He said, accomplishing things no one thought possible comes with the responsibility to solving problems no one yet has the answers to.
Profoundly deep words. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Keep that in mind, good sir. He bows to you both once more and then goes away.
Well, that was a social interaction we did.
Yes, quite well.
Clap,
It
clap.
seems. This is the first time in a while that people didn't shriek when I talked to them.
Maybe if you say your work is art, they might be a bit more open.
You know, I really am getting better, though. I saw that he wasn't able to see, and I didn't offer to replace his eyes immediately. Progress.
Well, that was very good.
Okay.
I'm back whenever.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to cut to someone else.
Yeah, we can. We'll go
We can
to.
go to somebody else and loop back to me at the end since I did kind of dip because of pizza.
Yeah. We'll quickly see what's going on with Squeaks, and then we'll go to you, Blue. All right.
Okay, I'm in no rush.
All
I
right.
just wanted to let you know I was back.
All right. Yeah. Squeaks, are you here?
I'm here.
All right. Squeaks is right here. She is next to these three guys who are spouting very drunk nonsense, and these two men who sound like they are talking about retrieving something. What do you do?
Well, she's not really looking at them.
Okay.
She's looking at this guy right here.
Okay. The red giant bird is currently downing a big bowl of porridge.
Alright. She wants to sneak over this way.
Is she trying to hide from anyone in particular, or is she just like being creepy?
She doesn't want this guy to see her.
Okay, give me a stealth check, please. You also have an advantage because he's not really paying attention to.
Fucking sweet, because my first roll is garbage.
Yeah, he is like face deep in porridge.
Good. I had a 23 for my advantage.
Ooh. All right. So yeah, he is, like I said, downing porridge, and he seems like he's choking a little bit on it, but he quickly recovers. More eating.
Alright, she's just watching him with narrow eyes. I want to get closer.
Okay. Are you still trying to creep on him?
Yep.
I won't make you roll for it. You already did. Go ahead, move closer to him. He looks up from the food and sniffs the air.
I smell the vodka.
Okay, she's going to tilt her head and then lean down and sniff herself.
What is?
She's thinking in her head, I'm pretty sure I dusted myself before I came here.
What does she smell like?
Like bird. Like a bird after a dust bath.
Okay. The big red Aarakocra says, "I smell glitter."
I want to pickpocket him.
You want to pickpocket him?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The first to get arrested. Let's go.
Okay. So he
Squeaks is reminded of someone and feels some rivalry.
says he smells glitter, and is very put off by that. So he's kind of like checking around and like under his bowl to see like why he smells this.
Oh yeah, it's totally under his bowl.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. Go ahead and give me a sleight of hand check.
12.
Okay, so you reach into his pocket. You can feel some gold on him, a coin. And as you're pulling out the coin, your claw scratches him. Ow! He turns behind you. What in the God's green earth are you doing? Did you just squawk?
Yep.
I did not hear it. I just barely heard it.
Okay, she's going to reach into her own pouch, and she's going to say, I smell glitter, and throws a handful of glitter at him.
He
You finna die in the ballroom, homie.
his
And then she's gonna try to run away.
she's gonna try to
Yes.
run away.
Yep.
All the right things.
Okay. So I don't think there'd be a check for that, so you just fuck off.
I am going to fuck off. Let's see. Where is somebody I recognize?
You might
Yeah,
see
fantastic.
Vincent and Karen over here.
And Karen does have the skirts, so you know.
Alright.
There's a joke.
Alright, well, I'm going to fuck off to the first recognizable face, and I'm gonna be squawking and flapping my arms the entire time.
Nice and
Ugly
subtle.
bird arms. Okay,
Oh,
so
shit. What am I doing?
as you are fucking off, the big Aarakocra extends his hand out and looks at the glitter you threw at him, and thinks, and he just starts laughing.
All according to plan.
He probably thinks you're the jester or entertainment or something.
Question, do I get to keep the coin?
He'll let you keep the coin,
Fuck yes.
just because you were so fucking funny. He's really not in a fighting mood right now.
I'm glad, because I was trying to rob him blind, but apparently I couldn't do it.
I mean,
Uh,
if you put the glitter in his eyes, he would be blind, so.
I mean, I tried, but he laughed at me.
Yeah, he's just laughing and like toying with the glitter you gave him and just goes right back to eating.
Fucker.
I hate you!
Do you say that out loud? Fucker.
No, I don't. That's just me.
He goes like, why do I feel like someone's insulting me with their mind?
The player is offended.
Alright, well,
Oh.
So he does that, and you go back to Vincent and Kieran. Now we're gonna shift back over to Blue Lottie. So as I said, you see a halfling talking the ear off of this redhead with his clay guardian behind him. What do you do?
She kind of looks at them and kind of thinks, I don't think these are the people that I'm supposed to meet here. But, and she starts to walk away, and then she just like, she decides to go kind of give the lady a reprieve by interrupting. So she's just gonna kind of wander over there and then like slam her hand down on the table really loud. Like
Oh,
she's got a smile on her face. She's not being angry or mean. Just kind of like slaps the table and then, oh, sorry, there was a gnat. I was wondering if either of you two could help me.
oh yes, yeah, sure. Anything. Who are you, by the way? Yeah, sure. Of course I'll help you. Who are you?
Oh, my name is Charlotte.
Sure.
What did he say?
He was like, oh, your name, Charlotte.
Yes, it is my name. All right. Um, has anyone you've seen at the banquet tonight declared for the family Artois or said they're looking for somebody? I was supposed to meet some people here tonight, and I have not seen them.
Artois. He starts like fluttering his fingers on his lips. I think I would remember such a unique name. I've never heard anything like that.
Well, we are not, it is a family from far away, so it is understandable.
He starts to mimic your accent. Far away. Far away.
You are just delightful.
Delightful! I
Yes,
love
very.
it! I
Um,
love this. I love you.
so what is your name?
So he's trying to, like, keep impersonating your accent. My name is Kevat. And
Evolve.
he starts, like, shrugging off himself like he can't keep doing it. Yes, my name is, Kevat. I'm a halfling from the hills of Yesternbrook. And I just came here because I thought it would be a really, really fun place to hang out. Everyone was talking. I heard people going through the road saying how this was going to be a very big night, and I just really wanted to see what was up. And Oh my goodness, I brought my clay golem guardian here, who I named Clardian, with me.
Claudian is her very clever.
Clardian goes,
He sounds like a Minecraft. Oh, wait, no. What is it? Not a villager.
Zombie.
Zombie. He sounds like a Minecraft zombie.
yeah, see, that's that. If I had the audio recording for that, I would just play that. But yes, he is a. So he's just standing there behind Kavat. He goes, and yeah, I made this big guy from when my hill got rained on one day, and it was really weird because there was like I thought I saw a giant star in the sky. But it was just my imagination. It was a comet. It was something. Either way, I accepted it as fate, and he just doesn't shut up. Now to you.
He just keeps talking about stars, and then, by the way, what star do you like? And then I like this star, and like that just keeps going. And then as soon as it sounds, she keeps opening her mouth to interject or say something, and then he just launches off into something else. She's like, wait, yeah. Anyhow, what is your name? And she just talks over him and asks the redhead what her name is.
Okay. So she says that her name is Samantha, but her words are really slurred because she's very drunk. And
Oh dear.
uh the fuck's my name? Sam? Sam, that feels right. Anyway, hi, Charlotte.
Hello. Yes.
Yeah,
Well,
you were saying, Blue?
sorry. Go ahead.
No, I didn't say anything.
Okay. She said, well, it's very nice to meet both of you, but I must be going. Please let them know if you see anybody with the name Artois or referring to that, that Charlotte Del Sarte and her charge are waiting for them whenever they care to show their faces.
So Samantha's like, okay, so they look like you, they family. What? How do we know it's them?
I honestly don't know who they're sending, which is the problem.
That is kind of a problem. I'm gonna probably forget your name in the next 2 minutes,
But that's okay, darling. Just make sure you drink the water, okay?
especially if this little guy like is like keeps telling about every single star he's ever seen. And then Kavat interjects like, "Oh yeah, speaking of which, have you ever heard of the constellation Betelgeuse? Like, it's apparently linked to a whole nother planet." And he just keeps going.
He goes, and she goes, you know who I think would love to hear about these stars?
Mhm.
That gentleman over there. You see the one with the metal arm? He just loves that sort of thing.
Yes.
Oh, okay. He wants to talk about stars. What's his name? What's his name?
I'm sure he would. His name is Vincent.
Vincent. Okay. Is he like?
Yes.
Did he come here with you?
Yes, he is a friend of mine.
Nice. I love making new friends. Come on, Clar. We need to go check up on them, see what they are doing right this very moment. And he happily stampers.
And she'll give the redhead a thumbs up and go kind of wander off to ask around some more.
Samantha mouths the words, "Thank you." Alright, I'm gonna go to Reginald next, but I do need to pee again, so give me 2 minutes.
You know,
Very well.
You do be pissing.
Mhm. I shall join him, but apart.
why ain't you pissing together?
Yeah.
Pissing together.
Like, isn't that where you cross the streams?
I
No,
thought
you don't
so.
cross the streams.
Apparently
you
not.
You cause a time-space continuum rift.
Like, you get like 4 guys, get them all to like each like cardinal direction. They all face each other, just piss and make like a piss fountain.
And they do fire, heart, wind, water.
Yes.
Oh, with piss?
Yes.
Yeah.
Alright.
Sorry, fire, earth, wind, water, heart.
Oh.
Oh,
That gives me an idea for
When Captain
D&D.
Piss.
Oh my
Please,
god,
no.
that gives me an
Do not-
idea.
Do not have a Captain
Superhero rah-rahs.
No.
Yes.
No.
We
Yes.
elevated from piss wine to piss power.
See, you gave me the idea. That's the problem.
Oh my god.
You never know what idea I'll actually take and use.
Alright, I'm back. Reginald Vandenbroek, my Skaven gentleman friend, what are you doing?
well, I suppose I'd be roaming the festivity hall, keeping an ear out for anyone who's talking about anything that would strike my ear as interesting.
Like?
Oh, anything to do with magic, anything to do with learning more about the arcane.
Okay, give me a perception check.
Very well. .22.
Wow, very good. Alright, so
Big ears.
these two gentlemen off in the distance you can see, they're pointing at a schematic and it says if we go through here and then they won't see us here and then we may be able to get through there. Like they're talking out a plan and you can vaguely hear mentions of a magical artifact.
I saunter up to them and I say, I do say, how are you two gentlemen faring this evening?
The man in armor says, "Oh, good God, you scared me."
Apologies. I really must have a bell attached to me. But I don't mean to interrupt whatever's going on here, but I couldn't help but wonder what you were discussing. I heard a certain thing about a magical artifact. You see, the arcane is really quite interesting to me. I'm a student of it.
Oh, the man next to the one in armor, uh, you can see very clearly he is a dwarf, and he's holding a big staff that's like almost twice the size of him. And he says, "Oh, you're what kind of magic do you practice? Where have you learned?"
Enchantment, my dear friend, enchantment.
Sh-
And I'm quite good at it, if I do say so myself, and by Jove, I do.
Oh yeah. How he kind of like stammers a bit. How long have you studied enchantment?
Well, since I was a boy of 10. Since I was a boy of 10,
10.
I was taken off to learn all the secrets of enchantment, and I've been studying ever since for a good 35 years.
10. It's even younger than me. Uh, so the man in armor, he introduces himself to be. Wait, sorry. He introduces himself to be Isaac Kovac, and the one next to him is his family friend Durnagor, who has a nickname Tri-Eyed after a very noticeable tattoo on his forehead.
Well, I say, you're not able to open that up, are you? You don't channel anything through that, do you?
What are you talking about? What do you mean?
The the addition on your forehead there.
Oh,
Is it
this.
useful in any way?
Oh, this. Okay, so to be honest, I somewhat forget how I got this. Um, I knew I was about 12 years old at one point, and I remember some kind of large explosion, but it wasn't a normal fire and debris flying. It was like an explosion of mystic origin, and I my eyes were absolutely enfamored, and I couldn't see until all I could see was out of this eye, pointing at his forehead, until my normal vision came back.
I see. And are you still able to see out of it?
No, I haven't been able to see out of it in years, but every time I study a new magical practice, it seems to feel warmer on my head.
Interesting. Very interesting. Uh, he very carelessly takes out a small notebook and starts writing down. Oh, forgive my eagerness. I tend to jot down anything that strikes my ear as interesting.
Oh,
You don't mind, do you?
oh, sure, sure. Uh, go ahead, look at my forehead all you want. He kind of laughs to
Hmm.
himself.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Reggie obliges, taking like a full freaking sketch of every aspect of it.
right, right. So Isaac kind of starts talking while you're jotting that down.
Mhm.
Um, so we actually came to the banquet for a particular purpose. We were actually looking for recruits. We, my father was an amazing blacksmith, and he developed a golden battle axe one day, and ever since he made it, he's been missing. So, and we think we maybe tracked down where he is, but we don't know. So, we could use a spy or mage to even conduct a spell that he may even. Sorry, I don't know how magic works. Um, that maybe you could see where he is.
Interesting. What variety, what school of magic is this particular spell from?
Isaac scratches his head and says, no fucking clue, ask him. And Durnagor says, I believe, I could be wrong, I believe evocation.
Location? Oh, now there's an interesting thought. I'm afraid I'm not nearly as experienced in the realm of evocation as I am in enchantment, but,
Mm-hmm.
well, I always do love a challenge.
Good. That's perfect. That is what we need right now. He grabs the schematic he was pointing at earlier and shows it to you. It seems to be it's like a dwarven ruin. There are a lot of crude robotic like steam powered objects hastily drawn. There are guard positions. We think that his father, uh, Durnanwin, we think that he may be in here kept by these people. We do not know why they would want him, but it is certainly worth checking out. If you don't mind, at some point tonight, whenever you're free, we can talk more if you're interested in helping us.
Oh, very much so. That being said, as interesting as this does sound to me, I'm afraid I don't tend to work without any sort of compensation. Now, that compensation doesn't always have to be monetary.
Uh-huh.
I am very open to accepting new opportunities to learn as forms of payment, shall we say.
Okay, so Isaac speaks up. Well, my family is pretty witch. My family is pretty rich, and we are quite used to people who want to be paid money for their services. We can give you that, but as you said, you seem to care more about magical intricacies. In this very ruin, there are things that could be considered magical. Like I've seen, what are those called? Uh, Durnagor speaks up, says robots. Robots, powered by gems that are infused with men's souls, and that is how they
My
keep powered.
Reggie's face is both. It's a mix of wonder and horror. My word, it's always so fascinating to me how people are able to be so resourceful with the way they use their magic and the way they manifest it. Mechanical beings powered by souls. So grim,
Indeed.
intriguing.
Uh, Durnagor agrees with you and says, perhaps that could be the reason why they want his father's soul. They would probably want to subject himself to so much endless pain of just wailing away on his hammer for eternity. We cannot have that.
Gentlemen, I hear your proposition, and barring any unforeseen circumstances,
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested.
All right, wonderful. Okay, so for the next like couple minutes, like I assume you sit down with them because they want to talk to you more about details. But
Uh, mhm.
what were you gonna say?
No, I was just going to say definitely. As he is speaking so eloquently and gentlemanly, he is also simultaneously just loading up his plate with like a mountain of food.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So while you guys discuss this sort of uh, rescue mission involving soul-based robots and magical machines, we are gonna cut back to uh, Vincent, Kieran, and Squeaks on how a very happy halfling is skittering towards them.
Squeaks, there you are. Where did you happen to wander off to this time?
She's gonna lift up the coin and wave it around. She looks very proud of herself.
You found a coin. Oh, very good.
She's going to lean around Vincent's body to look at the Birdman, tug on Vincent's clothing, and point him out.
You took it from him?
Nod, nod.
I do say, finding funds is usually a very resourceful way to keep one's research going. But perhaps this crowd isn't the best to be looking to liquidate their funds, if you know what I mean.
She opens her mouth and she goes, "It's fine."
Very well.
Both of you hear the very loud stampering of a very happy halfling. Friends of Charlotte?
Hello.
Hi, hi.
Someone's need to lay off the cookies.
You say that out loud?
Yes.
I think
No,
you
I
might
love
be onto
cookies.
something.
But never mind. Yeah, Charlotte said that you're her friend. We wanted to see you.
Ah, she hasn't called me her friend in quite some time. That's so good to see we're getting off our rough patch. Did you need something?
No. He's like trying to remember what she told him. He's like, oh God. Oh yeah, that's it. You said no. She said that you know somebody who knows a lot about stars.
Vincent just kind of goes wide-eyed and kind of ignores that and goes up to this thing. He's like, did you make this?
Clar goes, and the halfling's like, yeah,
Zombie noise.
yeah, I made it. I made him after some rain fell on my hill and a constellation flew by, and I think I saw a comet, and there was this big bright star in the sky, and I'm not sure if it was a comet or not, but I think it flew by and animated him, and he's been my best friend ever since, and this is Clardian. I named him that because he's a clay golem, he's my guardian.
You talk much.
He's like looking around, looking for who said that.
So, you didn't make him. He's some sort of celestial animated dirt pile.
I mean, I kind of made him. Like, I heard him go, "Ooh," like he normally does on the top of my house, and like I thought I saw like an arm try to form out of the clay, and I just sculpted the rest of the body. So I kind of made him. I made his shape.
Oh. Kieran, I think we're working on your people skills. You're up.
Okay.
What do you know about stars?
I know quite a bit about stars. What star are you interested in?
Do you know of a constellation called Betelgeuse?
Do you want me to roll an intelligence check?
Would you say that your character is like really familiar with astrology?
I'm going to be honest. Yeah, probably.
Okay, yeah,
Also-
roll it with advantage.
I just want to point out we've said the B word twice now. We're treading on thin ice.
What B word?
The you know.
You're not allowed to say it
Pussy.
one more time.
No, there's
that
been
is-
other words in between. We're fine.
Okay.
Because Kieran's a fucking thick dummy. He rolled a 5.
With advantage, you rolled 5?
Yeah.
Okay.
Intel's not his good stat, bro.
Okay, so you have no idea what Beetlejuice is.
I don't know actually. I've been kind of lost for quite a while.
Lost. Okay, no problem. So Betelgeuse is apparently a star that orbits a even bigger star that supposedly has life on that planet that is nearby it.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know how true this
Interesting.
is. A lot of halflings seem to believe that our planet is the center of everything, but I don't really get why they think that. I look up at the sky and the star that made this guy knocking on Clardian, and I just think, why would they think that way?
You think? Wait, they think that this planet is the center?
Yeah, I don't know why. I think they're kind of stupid, to be honest.
If you could only see a small perspective, would you not think the same?
That isn't a joke about my height, is it?
No. I swear,
Gary,
no.
no! Bad!
No, I'm sorry.
Oh no. He's like waving his hand. No. I'm kidding. I don't really care. I know I'm short. It's fine. Look, I can just climb on top of this guy, and he's now on top of Clardian. He's standing on top of his head. Now I'm tall as shit.
Okay.
Yeah, see, it's that easy. He jumps off. Yeah, I really don't care. I'm not offended by anything, I promise.
Okay. Well, they do seem to have a problem with just the perspective that they have.
Perspective. Okay.
If you can see it from a different perspective, you can understand a lot more.
You said you were lost somewhere. Are you from space?
Yes?
Oh, he's like really excited to hear about your whole entire life story.
It's not very exciting, I swear. It's just. I grew up, I
Mhm.
went into traveling,
Uh-huh.
and then I got very, very lost.
Ooh, how did you get lost? Did you like get turned around somewhere? Did a black hole eat you?
No, it's not a black hole per se. It's. I got lost at sea? You could describe it as?
A what? Sorry?
Like, uh, well, the. How do I. Well, the astral sea.
The
That's
astral sea. Is that like a nebula or something? I don't know.
kind of. And I got lost within the silver void.
Silver void. What did that look like? Sounds awesome.
It was very pretty. And I spent much time there. Even though I didn't realize I was spending that much time there.
Oh, so you got lost in like some kind of limbo, holy-looking space place?
Would be a good description, yes.
Nice. Are you sure you didn't get eaten by a black hole?
No, if you're eaten by a black hole, you do not come out of those.
Oh, but I heard that some people actually do, and they see alternate realities and dimensions.
As far as I know, you don't, but maybe.
I am endlessly fascinated. So he's gonna pull out a chair and just sit in it, ready to talk to you forever. Now we're gonna move on to, let's say, does anybody want to do something right now? Otherwise, I can just move on. Does anyone see something they want to check out for?
Buddy's just wandering around, listening in on conversation, and
Mm-hmm.
trying to see if she can find anybody who the people that she's supposed to meet there. And of course, grazing food as she comes across it.
Okay, so the man who gave the speech earlier, Murdoch, he approaches you and asks you, someone you're looking for in particular, madam?
Oh, perhaps. I'm starting to think they may not be arriving today. Perhaps they were delayed.
Oh,
Um,
well,
just some associates, people that I'm supposed to meet up with to join our party, but perhaps
pretty,
they did not make it.
pretty dumb of them to not want to show up, I think.
Well, I don't know if it was intentional or if they were delayed on the road.
Fair enough.
Do you happen to know if anybody working for a family by the name of Artois
Our
has declared themselves here? Or I don't know what they would look like. I do not know who they are sending.
Uh, I might have. I think so, actually.
Really?
I well, like my mother made a big spiel about it earlier. I was gone for quite a while. I,
Oh.
but I have heard the name Artois before. Remind me what they do. It'll help me get my memory back.
Well, the Lord Artois has his hand in many business and philanthropic ventures. He often finances research in universities and
Oh,
different scientific pursuits. They live in the, where did I say, the Dalelands?
the Dalelands.
Yeah, it's.
All right, we'll say
I,
that.
I literally just Googled what's the closest thing to France in the Forgotten Realms, and that was one of the ones that popped up. I have no idea where it is.
All right, no problem. Okay, so Murdoch says that he has been to the Darelands before, but only when he was a young kid, and that he knows someone in the party that can help with memory loss. That that this person is very good at locating people and helping them discover things about themselves or others.
Memory loss.
Well,
That is.
I mostly meant that. I'm speaking in character. I mostly meant that for me, but for your case, looking for your Artois.
Oh, okay. He was
compatriots?
just describing it in general. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, how very interesting. Could you perhaps introduce me? Also, congratulations on killing the giant or what have you.
He is his ego is very boosted right now. He says thank you so much, so much.
What? Out of curiosity, you did burn the rest of the giant's body, right?
Yes, I did.
Oh, I am so glad to hear it.
Yes, yeah.
Sorry, for the intrusive question.
Yeah, no problem.
But you said you could introduce me, yes?
Correct. And he points in a direction right over there. Come with me.
All right, she'll come along.
All right. So Squeaks. What you doing anything right now?
I'm going to poke Kieran in the back with one of my fingers.
I keep thinking I hear Karen, and I'm like, who's being a Karen?
It is really close.
Kieran.
Kieran will just, verbally screech a little from surprise.
Oh, Kavan's like, oh, are you good?
Yeah, yes. I just, yes.
Poke.
What an interesting reaction. Do it again.
Poke, poke.
You sound like a seagull.
I'll say, my character all the way over there kind of looks over like, what the fuck am I hearing?
She's gonna lean around. She looks a little frustrated, and she crooks her finger at Kieran so that he can lean down.
Kieran will just lean down. Yes, Squeaks.
Squeaks will put one hand up to kind of shield her mouth from halfling dude.
Nice.
Even though he can probably hear her, and she'll say, "Do you need me to stick him?"
What?
Kavan is looking everywhere around and sees another sees another Kenku who he thinks said it.
He's racist.
He stands up with leaning over the table and said, "That's not cool."
I don't know. I don't know how to tell him I wish to interact with others because I seem really dumb whenever he asks me a question about the stars.
Okay, I'll provide some help here. So Murdoch
are you
Morwyn,
sure?
Murdoch Morwyn, right next to you, Blue, ask you, are those people over there your friends?
I've never seen them before in my life.
He's like, oh, come on, I saw you guys talking endlessly earlier.
I was joking, of course.
Oh, you saw that.
The one with the metal appendages is I'm sort of working. He works for the Artois, and I am working as a bodyguard for him, and we're in the same party, I guess you could say.
Okay.
The others I have only met just tonight. Why do you ask? Have they offended someone already?
Oh God, no. It's just well, you turned around and I assumed they were with you from the beginning because I saw you come in with them earlier, and also because you did say that the one with the weird, ugly metal arm that
What'd you say to me?
that he was part of your party and looking for the Artois could help my friend here if you can get more than one perspective.
Could you repeat that last bit? I'm a little confused about what he's asking.
Oh, he's basically saying if you could recruit Vincent into what his friend is planning on helping you, then it'll be easier.
I see. I would not call his arm ugly to his face, though.
Okay,
Such
no
as his
problem.
pride
Sorry.
and joy.
Vincent sticks his arm in the clay monster, trying to figure out what's inside. Are you just all clay?
Does she say this?
But Squeaks, if you could help me, please. I'm really not good with social interactions for this long. Please.
All right. She smiles as much as a bird can smile. She'll come down here. She's gonna lean over and give an enthusiastic wave to this guy.
Oh no.
Hey.
And she's gonna say, "You can fuck off now."
He puts his hand on his chest.
Why, I never.
His cheeks are really red. He climbs aboard the golem without saying anything, and they both fuck off.
Yeah,
I ripped my arm
gonna
out.
Wave, she's gonna wave after them and go, "Bye bye."
Oh, thank you, Squeaks.
I was just beginning to investigate the mud pound round
There's
monster
still some
thing.
clay on your hand, Vincent.
Ah, a sample. I put it in a vial.
I'm sorry, Vincent. I'm not good at talking that long to people.
Oh, it's fine. It was a perfect distraction. I got a sample. Thank you.
And at least that.
Squeaks will pat Karen on the head and say, "Don't worry, little one. I will take care of you."
I thought I mean.
You would need to stand up on a chair or table to reach his head.
Yes! Yes!
Squeaks can only say what she has heard before.
Kieran will just bow down for it. Don't worry. Kieran's got you.
She was patting his hand, not his head. Sorry.
Okay. That still works.
What?
Very nice.
I love it. Okay, so where was I? So
I think we're getting called up to the stage.
currently, Murdoch's friend is sitting next to his son. And he is currently holding the hands of Samantha. The son holding Samantha's eyes. His eyes are closed, and Charlotte, you can see a set of cards which are flipping over on themselves.
I'll move in to get a closer look.
Okay. So first card, you can see a depiction of a wolf howling at the moon, with the moon appearing to be a crescent around that wolf. And the card is called Loyalty. The next is it's a scimitar with blood dripping down it, and it's labeled Combat. And the final one is a baby, labeled New.
Are these tarot cards? Are you telling a fortune?
Hey, yo, you playing Gwent?
I hate you so fucking much. Okay. So, Stanimir with a very thick accent says, my son is giving the reading of Samantha. The fuck is her last name? Samantha Bloodworth. She is currently. Samantha starts bawling her eyes out.
Oh dear. Was it very bad news, I take it?
Samantha is just endlessly repeating the words, my babies, my babies.
Oh dear. If Charlotte does not know how to, she was gonna walk up and ask to have her fortune told, and now she's backing away. Perhaps we should come back later. She will kind of reach forward and offer a handkerchief. But
sorry, I'm trying to interrupt you. My bad.
Sorry, go ahead.
All right, so Samantha takes your handkerchief and just kind of stands in the corner, blowing her nose into it.
Oh yes, if you can keep that, you're welcome.
Okay, so Stanimir says, usually the cards are not that detailed. Okay.
Perhaps she was just in a particularly vulnerable state.
I do believe she was kind of, he mouths the word drunk to you.
I cannot blame her for this. Should I be in her position, I would have done the same thing.
Okay. So the son looks up to you, and he has very bright blue eyes, and when he sees you, he tries to beckon you over, like he really wants to give you a reading.
You're not going to have me crying and blowing my nose into a handkerchief again. I gave her the only one I had with me.
Stanimir says, that is more so up to you, my dear. He says with a chuckle.
I've always heard about these sort of things, so I really want to try it, but oh sure, why the hell not? What's the worst that could happen?
Famous last words.
He says, wonderful, wonderful. And so the boy he extends out his arms and like flicks his fingers a bit, like gesturing, like hold my hands. Do you grab his hands?
He goes, uh, di- she has like her gloves on, but yes, she grabs his hands.
Also, let me change the seating arrangement so you're sitting in front of him. Uh, okay. So he he grabs his hands. Stanimir takes a very big swig of alcohol, um, and you can kind of see his breath, and he blows it into a nearby candle, and all the other candles nearby become a very creepy, dim green.
Okay. I'll say Lottie at this point is trying to figure out what kind of spell he used. Like, she's not a wizard, but she does kind of keep her eye out for any kind of useful magics. And she's like, oh, what was that you did?
Uh, he says, just a party trick my people like to do once in a while.
Hmm.
Uh,
That sets the ambience. Very nice.
do you
Oh,
want to like be able to? Do you want to give me an Arcana check to see what he did?
sure.
Okay.
It's just a +1, so the odds are against me. And I rolled a nat 1.
Oh no.
He says don't be discouraged if you don't know what I did. You were supposed to not know.
She kind of sniffs, like a little indignant at this. She's annoyed that she can't figure it out. Fine, let's just get it on.
Heyo.
I can't talk.
Let's get
Let's
it
just
on.
get on with it.
I
Let's
climb
just
on
get
the
on with
table.
it. Saxophone starts playing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Let's just get on with it. What is the future or past or whatever it is? That I can't. I'm fucking up my accent. Hold
It's fine.
for.
Don't worry about it. So all the lanterns and lights and candles around you become much more dim than before, and they are now green. The,
All right.
you take the boy's hands.
Okay.
The boy,
Now I wanna clarify. This is the guy who was gathering people for an expedition.
huh?
Okay. Just double checking. All right. Continue.
I'm confused by your question.
I'm just trying to keep up with who people are.
No, this is Stanimir. In the beginning of my session, this was like who Murdoch was especially thanking for saving him,
Oh. Okay.
and this appears to be his son.
Gotcha.
Okay, so the boy shuts his hands and gives a very low hum.
All right.
A set of cards flies out of Stanimir's pocket, and he sort of giggles at this, like this is about to be good. A set of cards flies out to the middle of where you guys are joining hands.
Okay.
Give me a 1d8 three times.
1d8. 1d8. Let's see if my luck. I can't think of anything to write. All right. I have rolled 3d8. And I got a 2, a 8, and a 3.
A 2, an 8, and a 3. All right.
Ooh, it's spooky.
So the first card flips over. It flies in the air, flips over, You cannot see it because it's above you, but then it comes back down, and you see a child. You see the card depicting a child who is clutching a teddy bear with a very somber expression on its face.
Don't believe I've seen this particular set of tarot cards before.
It belongs to us. This is technically called Taraka in my culture.
Delaka. Okay.
A variant, yes. The card that flipped over is labeled Orphan.
Huh. Interesting.
The boy's head perks up slightly before drifting back down. The next card then does the same. Flying up above you, flipping over, and slowly descending. It looks like a sheet of parchment paper with a feather pen under a dotted line. It is labeled Contract. The boy then sniffs and inhales and then calms back down. And then the final card. It lifts up, same as before, and descends down. This card, it begins to glow a distinctive orange amber color. Flips over, comes back down. You see a swarm of insects, various kinds, with the moniker under them labeled flies.
Suppose you offer any sort of interpretation for these. The first is obvious enough.
Stanimir and the boy look absolutely shocked.
Do
This. He takes the flies card. He looks at it. And he gives it to his son. We must take you to see our king.
Oh, pardon my manners. But, where did you say you were from again? Sorry, that sounded very southern, but...
No, it's fine. We... My goodness. After all this time. Stanimir
Feel as
says...
though I am being ignored.
Stanimir says... We're not from this plane. We're from another called Barovia.
Have I heard of this at all?
Give me a history check.
Oh boy, something I'm not good at.
With disadvantage.
Well, I've got a +1. Disadvantage. Fuck. Alright. Yeah, that's a 4.
You have no idea what the fuck Barovia is.
Well, this has been very interesting and more than a little bit
No.
I'm thinking for a word that's polite, but all she's thinking of were words like bizarre, unsettling, peculiar. But I really must get back to my charge.
Hold on, dear. Hold on. You forgive me. I understand you are very confused, but this is a very, very big deal. This is
I feel
this
like this
does
is
not
how.
happen.
What do you mean does not happen? You're speaking in. You're going blah blah blah. I'm not understanding what you're saying because you are not telling me anything that makes sense.
Okay, let me try. He takes a deep in and out. Okay. So we are from a place called Barovia.
Yes,
And
I've never heard of it, but please continue.
you are not alone, because the people who have heard of Barovia only know us. We are not from this plane, we are from the Feywild. Have you heard of that
Oh,
plane?
I would say she has enough sense to be very careful with anything. I mean, I don't know, with her background, would she be like Feywild and instantly raise alarm bells?
I would say that's kind of up to you, but probably not, because the Feywild have a history, or people from the Feywild or things from the Feywild have a tendency to be benevolent.
Okay. Okay. So with her with her arcane knowledge, be it minimal,
Mm-hmm.
she would be kind of eh. I just say based on her nature, she's just very suspicious right now in general because none of this is making a lot of sense to her.
Okay, I'll try to put it in a way that makes sense. So, our king, his name is Count Strahd von Zarevich, and he is many things. He, I suppose, what is relevant is he used to. He is trying really hard. He fell under a curse, and our home, our family, our way of life has been corrupted ever since he was cursed by his disgusting brother. And atop our homeland, within the heart, there exists there exists a god of some kind. We do not know. We never met it, only Strahd has. But its distinctive color is this. And he holds up the flies card. Amber, you. This has to be fate. You need. Please, we need to see you.
She is kind of looking back and forth at all of them, and she's looking over. I think she's gonna look over at what's his name, the man of the hour,
Murdoch?
Murdoch,
Uh-huh.
and kind of see what his reaction to this is.
Uh, he he nods because he knows what Barovia is. He puts his hand on your shoulder and says, "You should listen to him.
Ah,
Where I was, that was Barovia. Where I've been away to, and it's sad. It is just a very sad place. I went there to kill what I thought was the source, but I was wrong, and they brought me back. This whole party, it's to celebrate my honor, my victory, but in truth, I didn't complete what I set out to do." just did not have the heart to tell anyone.
I see. Well, it was a noble effort, I'm sure. Uh, Unfortunately, I am not self-employed, so I would have to convene with the family who I work for before I go off on any independent adventures. So after I'll have my people talk to your people, and we'll chat. We'll talk. I'll send a message. I'm going to go and talk with my friend over here, and I hope you all have a lovely evening. This was very interesting. Um, I'll, like I said, I'll have my people call your people. Yes, yes. And she starts talking. If she could do the phone signal with her hand, she would, if that was existed. I don't know. She'll do a handwriting signal like they do.
Okay.
Vincent, she'll say, Vincent, we need to talk for a moment.
Of course. Don't mind the mud on my arm. It should come off.
I never do. Um,
What is it?
some very weird people over here, and I spend every day with you, so you know that's saying something.
Oh,
They're
I
trying to.
see.
They said they're trying to get me to go see their lord or something in a parallel world, or I don't know. They said something about the Feywilds. It sounds like a very. Sounds like it's none of my business, is what I'm trying to say.
Hmm.
And I want to discreetly start making for the door because I do not think any of the people we were supposed to meet are here. Oh shit, he's coming over here. So
Ah.
anyway,
That was beautiful. Okay. Yes, okay. I understand.
Um,
Uh, mm,
uh, yeah, I'm just going
da
to.
da
We're
da
going.
dee, la
I
da.
Squeaks, do you think wait?
But he's fast.
he's fast.
Da 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 dee, da da.
Excuse me.
Oh, yes. Good day.
Sounds pretty fucky to me.
Yeah, she probably wasn't being as quiet as she should have been.
uh, do you need something?
Uh, I'm sorry. I don't like being an intrusion, but your your partner over there who went away from us. I you he's scratching his forehead.
You were the one that killed the giant troll thing, yes?
He says yes, but he's like he doesn't seem as proud of it anymore.
Do you have any remnants left? I haven't come across one myself, and I would love to study some samples.
Uh, well, I I just came to tell you because I know you are affiliated with her, and to my to my compatriots, they discovered something very important about her, and she said something like, uh, "My people will talk to your people," and it sounded like she tried to get away from me, but I want to talk to you because I knew you were with her.
Yes. Uh, Honestly, we've been looking for our point person this whole evening. I haven't seen anyone from the family that we're both representing, and perhaps we were given the wrong address. I think it is best that we move on and seek them out elsewhere.
Oh, surely not. Anyone who even passes by our town knows what was happening here. My mother likes to make a big deal out of it to all neighboring cities. Even if they are not here, it is very likely that they will at least be showing up within the town soon. I do I very much urge you to come with me for a moment.
Hmm. Very
Just
well.
She's over there going, "No, don't do it, don't do it."
just for a,
And
a
then,
single
and
moment,
then you
please.
agree, and she just goes, "Ah, fuck."
Okay.
God, Jesus Christ.
Uh, okay, think about how you want to say whatever you want to Murdoch for a moment, because I need to pee again. I've been drinking way too much water.
Javi, why your bladder the size of a dime?
He's just gotta hydrate so he don't dehydrate.
Um, hmm.
Since I didn't get the chance the first time around, I shall actually do it now.
Yay! But separate.
No, together. That's the only way we all pee. Look, when we're all at the con together, we all pee in groups.
We're a hive mind, but only for bathroom breaks.
Yes.
When one goes, we all go.
Look, man, it's like the powder your nose thing. It's code for something's going on, and you gotta pee together to communicate. Like, I'll give you all the code. When I say I'm going to powder my nose, you know to follow.
Yeah, everybody knows that it's like you go to the bathroom to pee, but you're really going for the tea.
Sorry, when I'm excited, my bladder turns to that of a little girl. I'm back.
That's okay, Javi.
Pretty sure little girls can hold it longer, my friend.
Oh!
Kieran, fuck you.
I'm just saying!
You know what? That's it. No more stars.
All of them gone. uh,
Show me the way, please.
uh, okay, please this way. So he leads you on to Stanimir and his son.
But about those giant remains,
Mhm.
do you have any?
Do you have any?
I
I
don't
have.
have any.
I mean, I have the head if you care to keep that.
Oh, yes, please.
Okay,
Preserved sample.
okay. He hands you over the head and give me a strength check.
Well,
Okay, he plops it into your arms and you nearly fall over.
oh my! Did you stuff it with rocks?
No, I just I just emblazoned the stump so it wouldn't bleed, and that's really it.
So,
See, Charlotte's watching you get handed some dead body part, and she's like, "No."
not
He's getting
so.
distracted.
You're telling me his brain and everything else is still intact?
Yes, that is the case.
Oh, thank you so much.
Okay, well, so he gestures over to Stanimir and says, "My my Fey friends, they got a very peculiar reading off of your friend there. Since you are affiliated with her, there could be, I don't know, there could be something they could read from you."
I'm just average and run of the mill. I'm sure there's nothing here. But if you must.
Stanimir says, No, that's not the right accent. "I highly doubt that you are half made of metal."
It is a little under than half, but I understand clothing can kind of change the perspective of it, I suppose. But simple mistake, really. What exactly am I doing?
The boy, the same boy with the starry blue eyes, His eyes become widened at you, like how his expression was with Charlotte. He gestures you to sit across from him.
I put the head by my feet, I scooch my chair in, and I sit.
Stanimir gives the rundown. We we are the Vistani people, and we have been looking for people like your compatriot for a very long time.
Oh, I lean in close. Is she wanted for something?
Uh, in the literal way, yes.
She is she a criminal? I would never imagine
Oh
that.
God, no. Oh no, absolutely not. Far from.
Oh,
She has a destiny in our to our fate.
I see. I peek over my shoulder and probably see that you're looking at me and then immediately turn back forward. Yes, shall we continue this quickly, please? Thank you.
Of course. He puts his son. He puts his son. He puts his hand on his son's shoulder. He says, "This is my son, Aremi. He is a seer, and he need only he need only to take your hands and tell you of the result. I can explain anything if you have any questions."
Oh, very well, very well. Uh, I hope you're fine with just half of a reading. I pulled out one robotic arm and one fleshy arm.
The boy who's named Remy uh, understands what you said and says, well, he doesn't say anything, but he kind of gestures like that won't be a problem.
Yeah, very well.
He gestures out his hands. Uh, do you accept his hands?
I do.
Where's the creepy music, DM?
I put it away for a reason.
Damn it.
Okay. So once again, give me 3d8s.
Ooh. What if I get them all the same?
Reroll then.
I got an 8, a 1, and an 8, so just one more.
Yeah, reroll one more time.
All right. 8, 1, 5.
815. Okay. 815. All right. Stanimir does the same thing with his alcoholic drink and breathes it into a candle. The candles become green and dim, and 8 cards fly in between the set of you. And just like before, one rises and the other descends one by one. The first card, it lifts itself, descends. You see 8 pieces of wood and a flame in between them with crude depictions of early men and elves huddling between them. The card is labeled beginning. The next card lifts up, turns around, descends. You see a cloaked figure whose expression can only be seen by the nose bottom. You can see he is giving a very sinister looking creak of a smile as he's holding something that clearly does not belong to him. The card is labeled Thief. And then finally, the last card rises up, turns over. It emits a faint glow of orange amber as well.
Yeah. Oh my.
That gets brighter and brighter as it descends. You see air coalescing within the wind visibly. And you could see 3 holes within one of the stumps, or what appears to be a stump, within that air. It looks like a very hollow expression of a face. The card is labeled Ghost.
Interesting. Do they all sort of culminate to an overall meaning?
Stanimir is once again shocked. Fire, thief, spirit. He puts his hands behind his head. And he does a very exaggerated exhale. He crosses arms, leans forward, points to you. Did you come with anyone else?
Well, technically no, but there were perhaps some people that we met at the very beginning, but they were not traveling per se.
Bring them to us immediately.
I don't know if my associate would like that very much.
He's just over there looking at the ceiling and tapping her foot.
Yes. I think, mhm. Is
Sorry,
go ahead,
go
go
ahead.
ahead. No, go.
No, you were gonna ask a question, I'll answer.
I was purely just gonna be like, perhaps if there's more specimens around that I could collect, I could see if I could gather up the rest of these comrades.
Is that all that's needed? Stanimir asks.
I have quite an inquisitive mind, and experimenting is something that keeps it busy.
Okay, from a bag seated across from a bag he pulls out from under him. He pulls out a small blanket, and the blanket reveals a lot of flies, twigs, and animal parts.
Oh, this should do nicely. Are these collected on travels from far and wide?
They're usually, sorry, they're usually depicted in our spells when we need them, but if that is all you require, specimens, that is absolutely fine.
This will do nicely.
Please, I beg of you, summon forth those you have spoken to tonight.
I open up the kind of like blanket and I look over it. Yes. Oh, this one's new. He'll look over his shoulders and kind of like tuck it all together and put it in his bag. Yes, a moment.
Reginald, I'll also say you notice this very exaggerated expression of magic. What do you think?
If you'll excuse me for a moment, gentlemen, I'd like to see what's going on over there. But I'll be back. I'll be back.
I found you, Reginald.
Yes, indeed you have.
Hot damn.
They're looking for you over at the other table. I think you actually might be quite interested. Something about magic and far-off lands, the Feywild, even.
Feywild, you say?
Yes.
As he nervously tugs at his collars. Well, I suppose I have no choice.
Good luck.
He straightens his back and confidently, at least apparently so, walks over.
And I'll come down here still dragging the giant head with me. Um, avoiding eye contact with Lottie, and I'll try to get over and say,
staring daggers at you.
Uh, the people at the far table are inquiring about the people that we came here with. If you two would be so kind as to go see them.
Lottie's foot's tapping faster than the other.
It shouldn't take long, Lottie. It was over and done with before I realized I got this bountiful collection of specimen. Look, have you ever seen insects with so many legs?
I would think by definition that they would not be insects anymore. All I'm saying is there's something that smells funny, and it's not that bag of shit they gave you. Alright?
It's not a... No, it's the head of the slain monster with the brain intact!
I can
Do
smell
not...
it over here. Just stay over there with it and let's leave as soon as possible.
Vincent does a deep breath and says, all I can smell is new discoveries!
I feel like you're getting distracted again is what I smell.
Reginald.
Aye.
Okay, so Stanimir looks up to you, kind of surprised because he's never seen a Skaven gentleman before. He introduces himself politely. My name is Stanimir. This is my son, Remy.
Pleasure's all mine. I understand you took some interest in me, according to the praised laughing gentleman.
Did you arrive with those two over there? And he points to Charlotte and Vincent.
As a matter of fact, I did.
The boy.
We don't have any relation whatsoever. It's
no worry,
really just happenstance.
The boy looks at you wide-eyed as well, and beckons you to sit across from him and take his hands.
Before going forward, this ceremony we're going through with, it's nothing binding, is it?
There is no... We cannot force anyone to do anything, but if this does mean what we think it means, that you and your party, that they are who we seek in aiding our land, we request that you come with us, but we cannot force you, as we cannot force anyone to do anything.
The curiosity overtakes Reggie, and he offers up his hands.
Okay, you take the young boy's hands. He clasps them, closes his eyes. Give me 3d8.
Very well. That is a 5, a 4, and a 6.
5, 4, 6. Okay, the 4th, 5th, and 6th cards in the set that flew out of Stanimir's pocket that has been laid between you. The 4th, 5th, and 6th, they arrange themselves so that they are on top of all the rest of the cards. And one flies up, flips over, comes back down. You see a young girl who is very gaunt, very tired looking, and she is gritting her teeth. The card is labeled Doubt. The boy grimaces a little bit, and then the other card flies up, turns over, and comes down. You see a much, much older gentleman, older than you. He is grasping at his face, like he's manually peeling open his eyes, and his eyes are swirling with eldritch magic. The card is labeled Illusion. The third card goes up, flips over, comes down. You see the backs of two men who seem to be looking at each other with their eyes closed and smiling. They have an arm wrapped around each other's shoulders, and in each other's arm, opposite side from one another, they're both holding daggers. The card is labeled Rivalry. That card, Rivalry, the daggers and the rim of the card as well, also glows a bright, vibrant amber orange. The boy releases his grip from your hands, opens his eyes, and just looks on in absolute bewilderment.
But I've gone along with your little ceremony.
Yes.
Tell me, are we as spectacular as you once assumed?
You're more than that. He takes the rivalry card. He tells you of an old god sitting atop a mountain that only his king, Strahd has ever met. He begs of you to see his king.
Hmm.
We can provide anything, and anything you could ask for. The king can provide scrolls of knowledge, can provide you libraries upon libraries of Fey history. We can teach you anything you desire.
Anything.
Absolutely anything.
I'd finally be ahead of old Jacob.
Sorry, what did you say?
Not that anyone would know, but he'd say, I'd finally be ahead of old Hickory.
Okay, let's turn our attention back to Squeaks, Kieran, and the others. How are you guys discussing this?
It will just be a moment. They just need to draw cards about you or something like that.
Drawing cards about us?
Yes. They're going to draw cards that seem vaguely related to your life, and then they're going to tell you have some sort of destiny, and they want you to go with them. It all smells very... I don't know.
Fishy?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I got one right. Yes!
Progress! Very nice.
Got one. Okay. But oh, okay. I mean, is it really a problem?
You
Quick
can
and
approach them if
painless.
you want, but I would not follow them to a secondary location if you know what I mean.
They did
Wait.
mention something about far-off realms. The Feywild, I believe, was brought up.
Feywild.
Yes.
Does that mean
Ah.
something to you?
What? Mm,
Thinking noises.
thinking noises to intensity. Um. Well, I mean, the Feywild is very magical, and as you know, Gorillon likes magic, and so on and so forth. You see where I'm drawing the connection, I believe, yes?
Yes, yes.
You're
Logical
thinking
explanation.
you should help these people.
Well, I mean, if maybe, I I am willing to hear them out.
That is, you know what? That is fine. I am not one to tell you how to live your life. We've only just met after all. I just know that we, and she looks at Vincent, have other obligations.
But they're not even here yet, Lottie. Why not indulge ourselves in the fancy playmaking of the other people around us?
Yes. And do you suppose this is going to take 1 day, 2, 3, a year?
Until they get here. But in the meantime, we've been here for what, a few hours? I haven't seen hair nor tail of anyone. Why would it hurt to engage in a simple card game?
I have nothing against the card game. The card game was fine.
I got something about a ghost in the glue amber, and I surely have no idea what he's talking about.
Does he have no idea what he's talking about? Suspicious.
Squeaks, would you go with me?
Okay. Squeaks is kind of moving side to side on her feet. Her feathers are fluffed up a little nervously.
Buddy system, right?
She shakes her feathers out and dives underneath this table.
Squeaks!
You know, there's some fancy light trick he does.
You see one bird eyeball shining at you from underneath the table.
The candles on the table grow in intensity, then dim down and go to a shade of green. Perhaps you can see how he does it.
Squeaks doesn't look quite convinced.
They did give me this blanket for this. It has a bunch of samples on it for me spreading the message. Perhaps you could get a fair bit of shinies for going through with it.
Okay. You said the magic word. Squeaks will come back out. She still looks rather nervous and fluffed up, but she stretches as tall as her little bird legs can give her, and she'll puff her chest out.
Then shall we, Squeaks? Move.
So the both of you head over to Sandomir.
Brain is trying to remember which way it was.
Top
Top left.
Top left. Okay, I'm not insane.
Yeah, no, right up here.
Cool.
Okay, you both
Oh, we get to
see.
go by bird brain.
You both see Reginald receiving his reading. Are you gonna say something to him, or?
What?
Oh, oh
What?
yes, you. I remember meeting you. Yes, very, very tempting offer. Yes. I will consider it. Tell me, a good squeak was it? Squeak, are you interested in this?
She shakes her head. Nope.
The
Makes
boy,
sense.
the boy opens his eyes wide again at you, Squeaks.
How young is this boy?
Like 13.
All right, she will smile at the boy. Are there any desserts on the table?
There is some tarts. Some of it was hastily eaten by the Aarakocra, now sitting a bit next to you.
I want to shove him out of the way, and I want to grab whatever remains of the tarts.
Okay. So you grab most of the tarts, and Stanimir offers you he offers you a bite. He offers you his pie if you would be so willing to engage with his son.
She's going to wave her finger at him and turn back to the boy. And she will let out a kind chirp and offer him the tarts.
The boy takes one, smells it, and takes a very small bite, and is noticeably happy with how it tastes.
Squeaks is incredibly delighted. She gestures to the boy on what she needs to do.
Meaning, oh, you're asking him?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the boy gestures to you on himself of joining his hands, clasping his own hands onto each other and furling his fingers towards you.
Give him your weird bird arms.
Okay, odd question. What is in the tarts?
Some cherries and topped with some whipped cream.
Alright, better not. She was going to slip them into her pouch, but she's going to put them back on the table.
You put some in your pocket and then it's wet.
No. It has whipped cream on it. She's not going to do it.
Do you take Aremi's hand?
Completely ignoring his father, yes, she will take his hands.
Okay, Stanimir shuts up and just lets things play out. So as before, the boy's eyes close, the cards fly out, and in a range of 1, 2, 3, all the way to 8, they set themselves. Give me 3d8.
I got 5-1-1. I need to roll one more.
5, 1, roll again twice.
Twice. 5 and a 7.
5, 1, 7.
Okay, so the first one The first roll that I got was 511. You told me to roll 2. The 2 that I had gotten was 7 and 5.
So it's 5, 7, 5. Reroll one more. Need them all to be different numbers.
3.
So 5, 7, 3. Okay. So the cards arrange themselves magically. The candle's still green. They grow dim. The 3rd, 5th, and 7th card arrange themselves. The first flies up, flips over, and descends. This card depicts a little girl with her hand covering the ear of another boy. And the card is labeled Whisper. The second flies up, flips over, descends. The next one depicts a slightly older girl who is staring blankly ahead, and her mouth has been stitched shut. The card is labeled Liar. The third and final card raises up, flips over, and begins to glow a vibrant, deep orange amber. It descends. You can see thick clouds waving around the sky, surrounding a center. The card is labeled Moon. The card is very, very, very shiny.
She's interested.
So is everyone else at the table. Stanimir is trying his absolute hardest to remain calm, but is vibrantly excited on the inside.
He's got a boner. Sorry.
He's like taking the shoulders
He's
of the
pulling
boy.
his cock out.
God damn it.
I think
I'm sorry, it was
Vincent
the
at all.
sorry that got me. I'm sorry.
Ugh.
Vincent wants to see what's going on. There's a lot of commotion down here.
Alright, Vincent, you walking over saw the great glow of amber above the table, and you saw it descend, depicting an orange moon. And you can see how absolutely bewildered Squeaks is at this one card.
Ah.
Well, Squeaks isn't so much bewildered as she is kind of entranced by it.
Sparkly.
Yeah. Stanimir says, "The four of you. I wish I had the capability to speak exactly how important this really is."
So is everybody else moving around too? Like moving
Everyone
in?
else is watching this in amazement.
Lottie will kind of lean over to one who she feels like is not with this group. She'd be like, "What do you make of all this?"
Okay.
Anybody close to her, you choose. Dealer's choice.
The closest to you besides Vincent right now is blind Dragonborn here.
Okay.
So what exactly did you say to him?
Is what do you make of all this? It's very strange to me.
Well, I hear a lot of commotion and everyone's saying how important this one particular event is, and I'm honestly entranced. I don't
Look,
know if this
you
is just a show or not, but I honestly love it.
perhaps. But you've never heard of this Barovia or any of that, have you?
Barovia, hmm. He's like tapping his chin. He's nodding his head no. Don't don't believe so.
Hmm.
Have you?
No. Maybe it's the show, and I should not take it so seriously.
I I mean it could be, but even without my eyesight, I can detect very potent magic.
Yes, it's making the hairs on the back of my head stand up. But
It's making my horns twinge.
what?
What?
My horns.
I heard horse.
They are not
My
the only
whores are
ones
all
who
very
get
uneasy.
off of my horse.
Okay, hold on one second though. I have to ask this: is that a Chihuahua playing the piano?
It's some kind of marsupial being, yeah?
Is he the one playing the creepy music as our cards get drawn?
Yes.
Nice.
Okay.
He's the one playing the soundtrack you're listening to.
Oka's distant cousin.
Oh
It's
no.
all for the ambience.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, so Stanimir, he notices how you, Kieran, came with uh Squeaks, and politely requests you to quote unquote hear out him and his son.
Sure. Okay.
Uh, okay. I keep forgetting the boy's name. I'm sorry. Remy. Uh, so Remy is much happier because of the tart he ate, and is
Sugar
ready
was
to,
low.
and is ready to take your hands and give you a reading as well.
Sure. Oh, okay.
All right. You join hands.
5,
Eight.
6, 8.
5, 6, 8. Okay. So 8 cards fly out, and they arrange themselves so that the fifth, sixth, and eighth are all most notably present. The first flies up, and then turns around, descends. You see the card depicts a little girl clutching at her head, and many, many, many people around her turning their backs to her. The card is labeled Pariah. The next card flies up, turns around, comes down. You see enormous hands hovering around a ball. The ball inside contains stars. It contains planets, nebulae, all of space as you know it. The card is labeled Creation. third and final card flies up, turns over, comes down. This card depicts a glacier with the sun illuminating it from one side and dark shadows on the opposite side. The side with the shadows depicts what you see as a dark, evil-looking face. This card, also glowing a translucent amber, depicts the word perspective.
Okay. Very good job.
Stanimir leans in forward. Did you interact with many other people in this banquet?
Not that many, right?
He calls out to everyone, yelling loudly. Uh, if you received an amber reading, join us. Many people look around, saw that only you guys got it. Many people move out of the way.
Suppose that's us.
After much consideration, Reggie goes over to the two gentlemen he met with and breaks off his previous engagement. Or he says he'll postpone it.
Okay, they're disappointed, but they understand. So Stanimir, he tries to empathize with you all, understanding how this could be seen as really unnerving or out of the blue, as you might say. I wish to tell you something. Our Lord, Count Strahd von Zerevich, he was once a very powerful man, and he fell in love with a beautiful, compassionate woman. Her name was Tatiana. And he also had a very jealous, mean-spirited of a brother. His brother cursed him and abducted his beloved Tatiana. With this curse, it also corrupted anyone that Strahd has ever interacted with. And that included our very home. This wicked man, driven by jealousy and malice, disgusting emotions. We have been this way for decades now. And ever since we've been trying to foretell, try to find people who could help us. And this, he hands out the cards to each of you that were amber. This is no accident. You all coming here, despite seemingly never really knowing each other. has to mean something. My people of Vistani, we do not believe in chance. Everything happens for a reason. And we do believe that you all to be our salvation. That is the truth, the whole truth, and I swear nothing less.
What exactly is it you expect us to do?